Some stories dig their way out whether we want them to or not. I'm telling you this because someone needs to hear it. Maybe to believe it. Maybe just so it doesn't die in silence. We were just a young couple chasing the suburban dream. But dreams can rot when the bones beneath them begin to rise. When Rachel and I bought the little gray house on Marigold Lane, we thought we'd made it. A quiet cul-de-sac, low crime, good schools, everything we wanted to start our life together. We were newly married, still buzzing from the honeymoon, looking to fill our days with brunches and DIY projects. That was before we met the neighbor. Mr. Halvorsen lived next door. He was tall, lean, with wiry gray hair and eyes that always looked a few seconds too long at whatever he was staring at. But he wasn't impolite, just odd. He'd lived there for decades, he said. Retired now. Used to be a contractor or something. His house was more weathered than ours, with a yard full of wild plants, a half-collapsed shed, and a massive dog named Brutus. Brutus was a beast. Not just big, scarred. Patches of fur missing along his back, a healed gash on his jaw, and eyes like fog glass. But he was always calm around us. Rachel even said he had a sad kind of loyalty to him. Sometimes he'd sit silently at our fence line, watching. Other times, he'd dig and dig. That dog was always covered in dirt. Mr. Halvorsen would just laugh it off. Old Brutus has a nose for mischief, he'd say, waving a dismissive hand. The first time Brutus brought over a bone, we didn't think much of it. Rachel found it on the back step one morning, half chewed and yellowed. Probably a day, I muttered, brushing it aside. But they kept coming. Long bones, chipped ribs, once, what looked like a piece of a spine. I convinced myself they were scavenged from the woods behind the neighborhood, like Halvorsen claimed. Brutus must have had a stash back there, maybe an old animal graveyard or something. That illusion held until Rachel saw the ring. It was a warm Saturday. Rachel was planting herbs in the garden bed when she shrieked. I came running and found her pale, shaking, holding a skeletal finger with a gold ring on it, engraved with tiny, delicate birds. "I've seen this before," she whispered. "I swear. It was in that missing persons post I showed you. A woman named Lisa Rourke. She wore a bird ring like this." I tried to calm her down, tried to be rational. "Let's just ask Halvorsen," I said. "Maybe he found an old box or something." We walked next door. Halvorsen answered in a dusty robe and smiled as if we were offering him cookies. "Bones?" he chuckled. "Brutus digs up all kinds of junk. Probably a hunter's dump site. Happens around here." "But this ring," Rachel pressed. "This was on a missing woman." His smile faded a bit. Just a flicker. Then he shrugged. "Coincidence," he said. "Tone clipped now. People misplace things. Dogs find them." We left, but something stuck in my gut. It was Brutus. He was standing in the hallway behind Halvorsen, unmoving, staring at us like we were prey. That night, we heard digging. Again. At first, we thought it was a raccoon or something outside. But the sound was too rhythmic, too deliberate. Rachel peeked through the blinds. In the moonlight, she saw Halvorsen in his backyard with a shovel, dragging something wrapped in a tarp. I called out, loud enough that he knew we'd seen. He paused, then waved, casually, like a man caught watering his roses. The next morning, a new bone sat on our porch. A tiny jaw, child-sized, teeth still attached. Rachel vomited in the sink. I called the police, and that was when everything truly broke. The dispatcher told us someone would be sent. We waited. An hour. 2. Nobody came. Then, the doorbell rang. It wasn't the police. It was Halvorsen. He stood on our porch, calm as ever, arms behind his back like a gentleman. "You made a call," he said quietly. "Yes," I replied, heart thudding. He stepped forward. "They won't come. Not for this street. Not for me." Rachel backed away. "What do you mean?" Halvorsen sighed. "You weren't supposed to notice. Brutus is good at keeping secrets buried. Until lately. Is getting old. Forgetful. Sentimental." He snapped his fingers once. Brutus stepped into view from behind him. Snarling. Halvorsen whispered something. Not to us. To the dog. Brutus bolted forward. We slammed the door shut just in time. The dog's body thudded against it. A low growl echoed through the house. We ran upstairs, barricading the bedroom. I dialed 911 again, screaming into the phone. Rachel grabbed a baseball bat from the closet. Downstairs, we heard wood splintering. Brutus was inside. People say dogs don't choose sides. But Brutus wasn't just a dog. He was a tool. A soldier raised by a monster. We huddled in the closet, holding our breath. The growling got louder. Then it stopped. Silence. Rachel peeked out. No sign of him. We crept downstairs. I held the bat, heart jackhammering. Every corner, every shadow seemed to move. Then we saw the basement door. Open. A trail of muddy paw prints led down. "We need to go," Rachel whispered. But something pulled at me. Curiosity? Rage? We followed the prints. The basement was nothing like the rest of the house. Damp. Cold. It reeked of rotten metal. And it was full of bones. Dozens. Maybe hundreds. Neatly stacked. Some labeled. A shelf of small skulls. Tools on the wall. Saws. Clamps. Knives. A butcher's gallery. Then we heard breathing. From the shadows, Brutus stepped forward. Slowly, not attacking, just watching. And behind him, Halvorsen. "Every man leaves a legacy," he said, voice calm. "Mine just happens to be beneath my feet." I raised the bat. "We called the police. It's over." No, you didn't." He stepped forward, smiling. "You called my line. I was a dispatcher." He lunged. It was chaos. Screaming, growling. I swung wildly as Brutus charged. The bat cracked his side, but he barely flinched. He tackled me to the ground. I remember teeth. Fight! Blood! Rachel screaming. She grabbed a lantern from a shelf, one of those old metal ones, and slammed it into Brutus's head. He yelped, stumbled back. She helped me up. "Run!" We bolted up the stairs, Halvorsen's screams echoing behind us. Outside, into the street, neighbors' lights flicking on. This time, I called 911 again. And this time, someone answered. They found over a dozen bodies in Halvorsen's basement. More in the yard. Some going back 30 years. Women, children, hitchhikers, local runaways, all hidden in plain sight. Brutus survived the struggle but was taken by animal control. He never attacked again, just sat quietly in the kennel, staring at the wall. Rachel and I moved, far away, but I still see Brutus in my dreams. Still hear the scrape of shovel on earth. You see, this isn't just a story. It's a warning, because evil doesn't always wear fangs. Sometimes, it waves politely from the porch next door.